Let's take a look at the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe on this episode of The Real DC Car Guy. The new 2024 Santa Fe, sort of more flat, almost Ford Flex-like. Bigger slab sides and a flat rear end. Hey there, it's William West Hopper from The Real DC Car Guy. And this week's car is the amazing Hyundai Santa Fe, the 2024 model. Redesigned from Hyundai's previous generations. What is the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe all about? Well, it's a mid-sized vehicle. It's not oversized. It's not small-sized. It's mid-sized. But where it really stands out is that it is a 3-row SUV. Yes, 3 rows. Perfect for the family traveler. Now, I have had this vehicle on an extended road trip this week, and I gotta say, road manners were excellent. The fact that it had the cameras and sensors all around made a big difference. And of course, the one thing that you know that I really like on Hyundai vehicles is the blind spot camera. When you turn your turn signal on, you get to see this area back here, which sometimes is impossible to see with your mirrors. You get to see whether you're on the highway, whether you're driving around town. It's great to see if little Billy is on his skateboard back here. If you're on the highway and there's a motorcyclist coming up, it is really one of the best safety features on any vehicle, but you really only find them on Hyundai and Kia vehicles, and sadly not on all of them. Honestly, in my opinion, that blind spot view that's back here on the Hyundai vehicles should be standard right across the line on all modern vehicles. So let's have a look inside of the Hyundai Santa Fe. Let's take a look. Now, Santa Fe has 3 rows, as we've talked about. The second row is captain's chairs in this calligraphy edition. Now, what's nice about that is that there are 2 chairs here, 2 back row seats. Now, in other models, you can get a bench seat back here, but I gotta say, having the captain's chairs gives you a little bit more of a limousine style experience. You also have a pull-out little storage area here. You have USB-C outlets on the back of the front seats, as you do on many Kia and Hyundai vehicles. There are 2, count them, 2 map pockets. There's 2 grab handles up here. Plus, as you know, I really like the fact that they have hooks for clothing on both right and left side. Fold down armrests, push them up, push them down, push them up, and they control like that. So there are 2 armrests here. There's no console here. There's an air vent here on the B pillar, and the heated seat control is here on the door, but there is no cooled seat control. There's a spot for a drink here and another Kubi spot down there, maybe for a water bottle or something. There is map pockets on both the seats. There's little hooks here if you wanted to hang a bag or something. There's no way to push this seat forward. Whoever is in the front seat has to move that forward. So pretty comfortable in that way. Manual privacy shades there. There is a solid fixed glass moonroof above me here that does have a fabric shade, which is closable from the front, which is nice. So you have a variety of seat height control right here electrically, so you can lower or raise the seat bottom. You can also electrically recline in the back, and you can push this button here and it will move the seat forward as well. All right, let's get into the 3rd row. Let's talk about what's back in here. I don't love the fact that these are not manually controllable. They're electronically controllable, which is fine, but you don't really have any control over the manual side. But there's your 3rd row there. Lots of space in the 3rd row here. What's really nice on the 3rd row are those controls, HVAC controls for the third row, in the third row. Can you believe that? That is a lot of cool stuff. And just pull that down. You've got plenty, sort of 50-50 split there for the third row, which is nice. So, but you know, you move that back, but you can't do that unless you push that. And I don't love that. I would love to have, would much rather have manual controls. While the third row is not going to be where all of your adults are going to ride, probably your teens and tweens are going to get back there. So it does take a little bit to get back in here to climb up into the third row. These headrests move up like that. You sort of have to do Indian seating here for your legs. Otherwise, you're sort of like this. Not super comfortable, but for teens or tweens, this would be just fine. Headroom, I'm 5'10", and it does pop up a little bit, but there's not really a lot of space up here. So if you're bouncing along, there is a light here, so there'd be a little bit of a light. I don't know that I want to go a couple 100 miles in the back here, but if you were just a single kid, you could probably stretch out a little bit with this space in the middle for that. Something else that's kind of cool is that these rear seats recline, so you can go that back a little bit, but you got to be careful because there's not a lot of cargo space back there. So if you did have that area back filled with cargo, it would be really hard to recline back. There is a drink and cubby space here, very similar to what is on the second row doors. So actually, not bad space for a kid for running around town. I'd say this would be okay. Not fabulous, but comfortable. So let's have a look at the cargo space here. I'm gonna move this up a little bit. All right, so the seats are in place. You really don't have a whole lot of cargo space. I'd say maybe 15 inches here. Because the body is square, you have a kind of a, you could put a big rectangular box in here, but not a whole lot. What's underneath here? There is a storage area. You could put a laptop maybe in there. There is a jack and controls there. And is there a spare tire on this vehicle? Yes, there is a spare tire down there. Wow, that's something really special. You don't see spare tires on a lot of cars these days. You just see air pumps. So what I find interesting with this vehicle is that while this is manual, you can push this down, give yourself more cargo space there. So you got your cargo space there, but how do you get those second row seats down? There's buttons right over here that you push, and that moves automatically. But what the real story here is, I hit it again and it moves back. I don't have to do it manually. That's very, very different. Giving you a lot of cargo space in the back of the Hyundai Santa Fe. To close the hatch, push that right there, and the hatch closes. So the first thing that we notice is Hyundai Santa Fe's new styling. This may be their new line of styling for other vehicles as well. It's very boxy. For those of us who've been around for a little bit, it reminds me very much of the Ford Flex, sort of a bread box. Very square, very rectangular, not flowing at all. With that, it provides a lot of usable space on the inside of this mid-size 3-row SUV. So what do we see here on the Santa Fe? Well, we see just very plain grille, nice LED headlights. Here's your camera, lots of radar places, so it always knows what's around you at any point in time. Now, if you want to get up here, it's kind of hard. You can put your foot up here and you can grab up here, but Hyundai has designed this little device here that moves out, that you can hold on to it to get up, put your foot down here and climb up. Now, if you don't want to have that open and closable, because you know kids are going to stick gum wrappers and stuff like that in there, there is a little place here that you can lock it. Let's take a look at this under the hood and look at this 2.5 turbo engine, hydraulically opened hood there. There's your 2.5 turbo. Pretty basic, pretty simple, plenty of space in there for folks to work on. Your oil is underneath here. fluid, washer fluid, coolant fluid, brake fluid, all the things. Here's your engine oil right here. You check your engine oil. In a lot of cars these days, you don't have something to check engine oil. That's something very special. There is actually a battery up front. And then of course your fuse box there as well. So, move some of those leaves out of here. So that is the engine. So that is the engine compartment of the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the inside of the Hyundai Santa Fe. This is the newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe, so let's have a little look inside. I'm on my way to visit some friends who have bought them some plants, and this is a great family vehicle is all I can really say about it. It is just a super family vehicle. So let's talk about places that you can put stuff. There is, of course, the classic glove box. There's a little space there. There's another space there. You're not going to fit a whole lot in, but it's just nice to have those little coobies. Of course, there's going to be a console box. There's coobies over in the door to put a water bottle. So lots of little spaces. But what's really nice is this area down over here where you can put a purse or something. It'll be a little hard to kind of get it in there, but you can stick stuff in there. So that's another cubby space. Of course, certainly cubby spaces there. And let's go have a look inside on this side here. You've got two chargers here, two NFC chargers here, which is great. USB-Cs, USB-C. There is no USB-A here. Not quite sure what this UVC thing is here. If that is going to do a UV cleaning of something, I'll have to look in the book for that one. So power and controls, and this will tell you what level of your charge is going on here. Your controls here are all sort of touch screen. These are real buttons, which is nice, and those are real buttons, which is great. But the air conditioning and all, these are just kind of touch screening things. So that's what you're doing here. You do have heated and cooled seats, 3 level of cooled seats and 3 level of heated seats. And you can turn the front and rear there, so it really does give you a lot of control. Again, driver's controls, plenty of things right here for your controls to move things around. Automatic moves it there. And look at that. So let's have a look at the dash panel. Controls on the steering wheel, pretty basic. Cruise control, modes, get to see the modes. What's interesting is as you're driving, you get to see these little things turn green depending on the traction that's in each of those spaces. Let's see what let's see, okay. That's what so we're getting 23.7 miles to the gallon, 23.3 since refueling. That's pretty impressive. Current trip there. So that's pretty good. Android Auto is what I'm running, but you can of course have Apple CarPlay, so it gives you all of that. Though I have found on these new Android Auto, it only really runs Google Maps. It won't run Waze, which is sort of odd, because Waze is a Google product. There's basically a look of what my screen of my phone it looks like. So it's there. So there's the map for it. So Waze is not on there. Maybe you can add Waze. I haven't found how to do that yet, but all the basics, phone connections and all of that there. So really nice interior. And of course, as I said, it has the mirror here that you can have a regular mirror or the digital rear view mirror. And let's close this and close the cover on that there. And I can close that there. and it actually has a fabric cover, which is really nice. Let's have a look at the rear view cameras on this vehicle. This is really nice that it has the variety of cameras that we can see on that. But as I said, one of the things I really like on this vehicle, like, it has these blind spot views that you get to see when you turn your turn signal. It really makes a difference. Especially if you're in a suburban space, you can see if there's somebody back there, a kid or a dog. Notice those things flashing. That's kind of keeping an eye on your eyes to make sure that you haven't fallen asleep. All right, shall we take a little drive? Okay, we're in reverse now. We're going to go into drive. There's our modes. Let's go into our mode. Let's go. There's normal, sport. Look at that, pretty fancy. My drive, snow. Put it in sport for a little bit, and we'll take a little drive. All right, folks. Now, one of the things that I didn't really talk about so far is the fact this vehicle has heads-up display, a HUD, which is very useful and very good. It also identifies street signs, it sees stop signs, it sees the speed limit, all that. And that shows up in the HUD, the HUD. So it sees the it knows this is a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit here. Let's see if it pops. There's a stop sign up here. Let's see if it picks this up. Either the HUD or the display. It shows it on the heads-up display, but also shows it up on the thing. There it is. There, the stop sign does show up on both heads-up display and on the dash. It sees the stop sign, which is right there, and it was right there, so it's gone now. All my overall thoughts on this vehicle are that for under $50,000, you get an awful lot of car for the money. 3-row SUV with a lot of technology, a lot of safety in the vehicle. It handles well, it's got space, it's got everything today's family is going to want. You've got a nice boxy style, so you can get the dogs in here, you can get furniture if you were moving some furniture in here, you can get boxes from the big box store. Plus it handles really nicely as you're going around the twisties here. Just a real nice little experience of that. Things I don't like about this vehicle. I don't like the engine sound. It kind of is a growly when you're driving along. I don't really like that a whole lot, but you get used to it. I don't like the fact that the satellite radio really passes out if you go under a bridge. It's not very strong. The antenna's not very strong on that. I don't like that. And I also don't like the fact that Android Auto doesn't connect to Waze, but that seems to be pretty common in the latest vehicles I've been driving. Seat comfort is excellent. I'm very pleased with that. So overall, a great vehicle. So I would give this vehicle more than 2 thumbs. I give this 5 thumbs up. You only have 2 thumbs. Okay, 2 thumbs and 2 big toes. How's that? All up for this vehicle. It is really a nice vehicle.